That is a mean looking sapper. Welcome to the update tabletop of the Sig 716. This is the G2. You're watching TMP. I really liked the Gen 1 716. I pretty much raved about it in the tabletop review last year. Now hopefully you've watched that video because it will anchor this video. I did make mention then that if I could get a hold of a G2, I'm tabletopping it. So thanks to Gunnies Great American Western Wear shop. Yeah, Western Wear. They've got boots. They've got really cool plaid shirts. They've got cowboy hats. Huge selection of buckles and belts and stuff. Yeah, the reminder of thanking them is below. So you'll have to Google them. Gunnies Western Wear. Oh yeah, they got a couple guns there too. Yeah, that's where we find ourselves. Gunnies Western Wear enabled me to loan this gun out and give you this update tabletop on the G2. Still loving it. There's your shortcut right there. I do that sometimes. Still love the gun. I am going to ding it, and I have to, for weight. Now the big push for the G2 was losing what Sig will say is about 2 pounds. And that's pretty much true. I mean, it's 8 pounds 14 ounces naked without optics, the 716 G2. Not quite to where I would want it. I've been ranting and raving for the last decade trying to get an AR10 style of rifle down to 7.5 pounds. Well, there's someone finally doing it, and guess who? POF. Yeah, POF's doing it with their Revelation, something like that. Revolution, I forget the name of it. It's their 308, basically AR-15 style of gun, but it's chambered in 308, 7.6251 more specifically, just like this G2. That, my friends, could be a game changer. I never use that phrase, game changer. It's so ridiculous. But when all the other manufacturers stop what they're doing and go, oh, we need to kind of compete against that, the POF's entry into the market could be a game changer. The downside is the political environment for such guns and making money off such guns is bad. It has been threatened, and I bet a lot of manufacturers just don't know what to expect. And I'm not sure they want to pump in hundreds of thousands of dollars in the development of anything new until they can prove that it sells. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But with that out there, that offering by POF at what they're saying 7.5, but even if it's 7 3/4 pounds, it could be cool. And they use really high quality, expensive materials in the bolt and the bolt carrier group to achieve basically AR-15 dimensions in the POF. Congratulations to them, someone who's been paying attention to SAWC. I mean, I want to encourage that because I don't accept status quo as a reviewer, as a consumer support specialist advocate. I'm always telling the truth, and the truth sometimes is painful to hear. And some people don't like it, most do, and it results in better products. That's what I do. And when I serve my law enforcement, police market, my military market, my responsible civilian sheepdog market, which I've always done, then it results in better products for those guys, better systems. So that's kind of what motivates me. Now with that intro, you may think that my enthusiasm for this gun, being 8 pounds 14 ounces, would be diminished. That's not true. It's not. This is a really great gun, and the only thing I can say is the weight that's off on the formula. I think Sig is to be congratulated for going back and saying, hey, how can we make this thing lighter? Now, the first thing they do is a shortcut, which, if I'm honest, I don't really dig it that much. A lot of manufacturers do this to cut weight on an AR-10 style rifle. Not that this is an AR-10. We'll call it a sapper, semi-automatic precision rifle. They lop 2 inches off the barrel. So they're going to give you a 16-inch barrel. The Sig 716 G2 is no different. It's a, you guessed it, 16-inch barrel, which most y'all don't mind at all. I don't read many complaints in the comments or hear from you guys saying, yeah, 16 inch, I don't know if I like that so much. I've always, and I think consistently said, I'd much prefer an 18-inch barrel on that style of gun. You know, I'm going to get 75 feet per second more out of the barrel, roughly, depending on the load, for each inch extra. I'll take it. I like it. If I'm ranging out to 700 meters, that's important to me. Some guys, they don't care. And a lot of people go, hey, man, short, and I'm covering stuff I've covered before, but we'll hit it really briefly. We go, hey, I don't care. You know, I shoot with 16-inch tubes all the time, out to 700, 800 yards. I don't have a problem. I get you. That's just me. It's just me. But it's a 16-inch barrel. The other one was as well, the G1, if I remember right. But they've done some other things to lighten it, and they've made some changes and updates to it. It is essentially the same gun. A good thing. The G1 was a really good gun. I mean, you talk about reliability, accuracy, we'll hit that again. Really good. So you don't want to mess up the things that are working good for you. You just want to liven them up. So the G2 in FDE, this is a Cerakoted model. Looks great, by the way. Better than the G1. I think I had the black one, right, that was on loan. And this thing is portly with a freaking Dead Air Sandman titanium on the end. It's a 7.62. It's almost freaking 12 pounds. I mean, you can see my weight written there. It's what, 11 pounds, 7 ounces. I got 11.5 pounds. Full up with can and a mag and the glass on it. That is a super excellent Aero Precision mount right there. I just tweeted it out today on my Twitter account. If you don't subscribe to my Twitter account, you should. And if I find things that I liked, maybe tweaking your systems, mini reviews, I do it on Twitter. So you should subscribe. It's free, of course. Doesn't do anything for me. Just getting the word out. So this is a really cool mount. And I don't really believe you have to have a quick detachable QD mount anymore. I don't. And then UTG is putting one out too. It's, I forget the name of it. So go look at my Twitter page. It's on there. But it looked pretty good too. I'm not so sure it's as light as the Aero Precision. It may or may not be. I don't know. We'll see. So anyways, it looks really cool, right? And FDE, you guys know I love FDE. I just love it. And it also reflects heat in hot desert environments where sometimes I find myself shooting. Philosophy of use will be standard for an AR10 sapper style of rifle. When you get a heavy setup like this, we'll call it 12 pounds just to round up. To me, that rolls in the role of a team rifle. A team rifle, being heavy is actually good. You don't want a super lightweight rifle. You want it to be super stable. You're in position. You're out on a watch. You're out on a call. It's on a tripod. It's supported. You're not carrying it. You're not humping it around in a striker vehicle, going up and down mountains in Afghanistan. In that philosophy of use, team rifle or designated marksman for a PD or something. So weight is good, and I think the Sig 716 G2, as in the G1, perfect for that job. Perfect. How about hunting rifle? No. No way. I mean, you could probably get, I didn't even check. Are there SR25 5-rounders out there? I don't think it'd fit in the mag well, so probably not. You might have a 10 that's blocked off. I'm sure someone out there is doing it. Point defense, too, and that could be in WROL. It could be in a military environment. Point defense is, again, where we're really kind of static. We're not super mobile. I think a heavier rifle, just like I said with the H&K MR762, that's kind of what that's for. And again, weight's good then. Weight's good. But if you're going for mobility, firepower versus mobility, it's too dang heavy. Would it be a go-to choice for me as a WRL rifle? Honestly, no. It's too heavy. If you're talking mobility, especially me as I get older, my capabilities diminish more, I want something light. Thank you, Poff. I want something light. So, no, not for me. Recreational, sure. It's way fun to shoot. We'll hit that again. Philosophy of use, basically standard. I've covered a fair amount of sappers at this point. You should go into my playlist. My playlist will have all the 308 style of battle rifles I've reviewed to this point, and I'm a big fan of them. Big fan of 7.6251 as an all-around cartridge when SAWC permits. Man, someone who shows up this video and they don't know my lingo is probably going, what is he talking about? Don't even know what he's talking. SAWC? Sapper? I know, I got a lot of acronyms, but the reason why is because we revisit these things in all the tabletop reviews. And so it's a shorthand way to communicate information to my subscribers. You guys get it. On the table, I got some cool stuff. So we've got a couple SR25 mags, all of them used in the G2 in multiple desert outings. Thank you, Gunnies Great American Western Wear. Again, I like how thrash this one is, man. Carbon buildup on that, which you're getting less of carbon buildup back here. Actually, none at all, if I remember right, since this is a short stroke piston design. I've always said I'm a big fan of DI, right up into the point when I run an SBR, or if I suppress it, then I'm entertaining piston options because it runs cleaner. Less blowback, less particulates blowing into my face and my eyeballs. On the table, I've got one of my dad's OV10 patches. He was a Ford air controller in Vietnam, several tours. He's passed on now, bless his soul. Miss you, Dad, love you, Dad. And he left me a legacy that I still lean on today. I've talked a lot about lessons of my father, work ethic, responsibility, the buck stops with me type things, all taught to me from my awesome father. Better not tear up. We got shark patches at the web store, cool hats. Still, I think Doodle has reordered some. One of my all-time favorite daggers, the Cold Steel Taipan. Oh, this is a sick, sick piece of kit right here, bro. CPM 3V in this one, perfect sheath. Go watch my probably decade-old review on the Taipan. Oh, yeah, it deserves a place of honor on the table. And this right here, dudes, since we're talking about a German gun, we're going to show you a German plane. This came out of the Italian theater during World War II. It is a Junkers Ju-88A4 equipped with torpedoes and a very wicked paint job. Now this is a limited edition Corgi brand collectible. It is actually made out of metal. Can you believe it? I mean, the quality and detail on this thing is absolutely superb. You can see the machine guns in on the bottom cupola there. Look at this. The pilot had I think a 7.92 machine gun shooting out the front. Look, you can see the freaking pilots in there. Oh my gosh. And the dapple camouflage pattern is just cool. Now, Last Suspect and I were just talking about this plane. He's looking on the other side. He's like, how does that camouflage the plane? Well, I think what this represents is an actual plane in theater. And I don't know if they were after ultimate camouflage, and I think this was a color they had left over. So when you look at these planes from the past, you don't say, well, everything's planned. I think a lot of it is field expedient. So this is a color they had, and actually the Germans were really good about making their planes look cool. Gosh, they had some cool looking planes. I mean, the top of this thing looks sick. So this probably flew in the North African campaign. Then it was reassigned to the Italian campaign in maritime operations, sinking Allied shipping. The Junkers 88, I think, served the entire war. It wasn't ultimately fast, but it was a reliable workhorse for the Germans throughout the war, and they built a lot of them. Look at the insignia on the side, how it's kind of like blasted off. Sand dapple camouflage. Oh. Dual machine guns in the back for the rear gunner. No tail gunner in this one because this is a medium bomber. Junkers 88. Maritime torpedo version Corgi. So cool. Going on the table. I do out of genre reviews, so if you guys are new and you go, what the heck? I didn't tune in for a model review. Dude, welcome to the show. I just go wherever. I'll review a freaking Star Wars figure in the middle of a gun review. No apologies. I'll review a dump truck. Yeah, I'm going to hit this one later. JCB 164 scale articulated. What? Back to the gun. Talk to POU. What are the differences between Gen 1 and Gen 2? Well, first up, rightly so, they attacked the handguard for the Gen 2. So they did a lot more ventilation, a lot more lightning cuts on it, and I'm not sure how many ounces they lost ultimately out of it. It's still going to be a tallish handguard here. It's going to be proprietary because of the piston system and the rod, which a 716 wears. It's going to be key mod. I've said it before. I will always say it. I love key mod. You know, hey, M-Lock is so much better. Please, I love it. Key mod for what I'm going to do, it's fine. I'll take either one, but I have a lot of accessories already in key mod, so I'm not going to go, or I should say rail sections. I'm going to go run out and upgrade the M-Lock because such and such test. That's ridiculous. I'm not freaking, again, jumping in and out of an armored vehicle. For what I'd use it for, key mod would be fine. Rant complete. Hope you liked it. Now, they adopted, I believe, the latest generation of gas system on the 716 G2, pulled from a 516. Well, not literally, but it's the same style and it's simpler. So it's 2-position. You don't need any tools. You can put a wrench on it if it sticks for whatever reason. It's all gummed up. But you see a plunger there and you can just swap it left and right, and it's basically suppressed and unsuppressed. Yeah, so pretty cool. I think the piston system on it has been proven at this point. Of course, our durability test is limited, what we can do here, both in funds and, more importantly, time. I mean, for me to durability test this, you're talking thousands of rounds, thousands of dollars. Dudes, no. What we'll give you is a 500-round test. Thanks, by the way, to Federal Premium for partially supporting us in the test. What? Yep. It's not an unlimited test. I mean, unlimited means, hey, I call Federal Premium or Federal Ammo and I say I need 5 cases of 308. That does not happen. I'll get some boxes. That's about it. So yeah, you would think it'd be something, but hey, I'm grateful for what I get. It all helps. Gives me ability to test, and I've been buying Federal forever. I mean, look, this box is dated 12/11. Why do you date your boxes? Nothing. To know how the ammunition has changed. Because earlier lots of XM80 were really accurate, and then the later lots, I don't know, 15 or so, they were still good ammo, reliable, but I don't know, I got more dispersion out of them. So it's just more of a systems thing for me personally. Changes to the G2. That's a handguard. It's cool. I don't mind it. The receiver is basically the same. You still have an oversized magazine release, both the left and right sides. You have a steel reinforcement plate on the deflector portion right here. I can't remember if the G1 had that or not. Is that super important? I like it. I ain't gonna lie. And this is a forged upper and lower too. It's not billet. That is another thing I always loved about the 716 series. All good. Same safety. And then we'll talk about the different models of the G2 coming out right now. Now, my subject or my data may be incorrect, but they have the DMR version, this one. So that's going to have the full length rail on it, this one here. Then you have a Patrol. Now the Patrol still has the same length barrel, it's a 16-inch barrel, but it has a shorter handguard on it, and I believe it has just a single stage trigger. This one has the 2-stage trigger on it, and it is absolute perfection. You won't have to do anything to the trigger at all. Safety check it. Woo, that's a smooth action. Dang. And we'll go ahead and do the Lyman digital trigger scale. Let me guess. I don't know. I would say if I get a good pull, I'm going to say 5 pounds. No, 412. Oh, 512. That's pretty consistent. 510 is the trigger. 2-stage. It feels lighter than that. It does. I mean, it's a really nice trigger. Clean, predictable. Just a really nice trigger. It's just perfect. It's perfect for the DMR POU, of course, as we've talked about already. Quick look in the mag well. I'm not going to take it down. It's same as before. I think in the the foundation video we took a look inside. I wish they would maybe give you a bigger style of charging handle. Granted, this one's ambidextrous. It's locking on both the left and right sides. But something along the Tomahawk lineup that POF uses on their Renegade and their Revolution, that would be preferred, or maybe BCM style. It's still cool. There's a QD cup, mil-spec tube. It's staked, CTR, Myad. Actually, this isn't Myad. This is proprietary. But it's good, and I wouldn't replace it. It looks very Myadish. Very Myadish. And that's basically the changes. Oh, wait. G2 still wears the monolithic rail that I believe the G1 used. So it is screwed on top of the receiver. It's a continuous piece of metal all the way into the handguard. monolithic one-piece rail. And this one has 20 MOA built into it. Most excellent. You might be able to detect that with the taper on the rail here. See that? So all that's excellent, man. Now we get into the fun part. How did it shoot? Accuracy, reliability, and ergonomics. Well, let me tell you, dudes, it is all gold. Gold. The thing shoots so smooth. I'm showing you the results as we talk here. Smooth, fun, fast. And that's where the weight, again, comes in handy when you're shooting fast, because the gun settles down quickly. You can do follow-up shots readily. It's just such a great gun. It's just a pleasure to shoot, perfect trigger, and the accuracy is as follows. Sorry, JU88, you gotta move just for a second here. Look at this. This is at the range. Sig 716 G2. This is in February. Aguila shooting good. Sponsored by Federal, but I have to shoot other loads too. I do a pretty good job, I think, representing all types of loads. Aguila, Federal 150 grain soft point. This is a hunting load, guys. And this load shoots so good. I shot another 308 rifle yesterday. You're going to have to wait to see which one it was. And it shot this into like a ragged hole out in the desert. S&B 150, good. PMC match. I would expect a little bit more out of that, but that hasn't been a great load for me. PMC match, S&B, XM 80C, this load right here. Federal, same. This is in the desert. I love this. Ice fog. Ice fog. Oh, by the way, the watch is a Seiko Flieger style. It's the SSA 301 Seiko 5 Sports. Love the hands. Love those hands. They're so cool. This is a great watch for the money. Love Seikos and Citizens. Oh yeah, accuracy. Federal 150 grain soft point. That's a hunting load. It's shooting into MOA. Now these I call the dead guy reloads. This is some dude who reloaded these 168 molly coated rounds, and he did such a great job. And look at that, one ragged hole. It's got up mark and exclamation point. 168 grain molly, same load, amazing. Atomic 168 grains. I mean, this is like an MOA shooter. So when I go in that video I made, Sapper versus bolt action rifle, this is another player. And I can't remember if I used this gun or not in that video. I may have. And I'm like, you know, why go with a bolt gun? If you live in a jurisdiction or in a place where you can own a Sapper, own a Sapper. I love bolt guns, don't get me wrong, but when things get serious, I want a Sapper. Federal 168 grain match. This is 5 rounds, dude. Just in an MOA. So I'm just above this. That looks about MOA. Another 3-round group. Atomic. I mean, just as, by the way, this is what I always call operational. So this is in a desert environment off a freaking polymer table. This one's not so awesome, and I don't know how I shot that or what. Might be sight in. So here's a group, there's a group, there's a group. It's not great. So this is ball. I think this is that NATO spec ball. That's not awesome. Maybe this is what you can expect. And I said cold bore here, so I was running the can on it. As I did throughout the test, I always prefer that with 308s. I just like it. If I deploy one, it's going to be canned up, always, just saying. Ball here. Yeah, it's, you know, it's not shooting great there, so basically like other AR10s there. Fusion load shooting here, but I think the takeaway is if you're willing to feed it right, and I have a couple 150 grain loads here, and you can see it shooting those great. Accuracy, therefore, is outstanding overall. Outstanding. You know, the enjoyment factor off the hook. Again, I don't want to carry this thing. Hey, man, you got to carry that Sig over the hill and full-on Red Skies loadout? Forget it. Count me out. I can't do it anymore. Maybe you can. But would I buy it? Well, here's where, you know, it kind of complicates a little bit. It's expensive. I mean, the retail on the one you're looking at, the Sig 716 G2, is $32.50. That's a lot of money. But there's guys buying 17S's out there. Those are expensive. The POFs are not inexpensive. Even a basic AR10 like the Bushmaster ORC, as they used to call it. You know, those are expensive. $1,200, $1,300. M&P 10 is what, $1,600? The DMR version is a little bit less, 3,100. The Patrol, and I'm sorry, that's DMR version in black, not the coated, this one. I would totally pay for the coat because you're only paying like $100 for the whole job. If you go and get this Cerakoted by someone, you're looking at probably $400, be my guess. The Patrol is the one I was thinking of. That one's less. It's about $23.90 retail. Now you can get it less than that. So what does Gunnies Western Wear sell this one for? Which it will be going back to. Go to the store and check it out. Say thanks to Wyatt. Maybe buy yourself a nice set of boots while you're there.
Yeah. So
there you go. Or a belt buckle. Check that out while you're checking out the G2. I don't know what he sells it for. I don't have the price tag, but is it worth it? Oh man, if I had a ton of money, yeah, I would buy it. That's your answer. But if like most people, money's tight, the answer's probably not. I would still go with M and P10. Maybe the POF Revolution, but it is a new technology. And it takes a while for new technology to get a track record. I mean, track record, there's no replacement, bro. You could have this POF, you find out the BCGs are falling apart and blowing up under heavy use. We just don't know. Not for fault of their own, but you know, new technology takes a while to perfect. Just like this plane did. I mean, when this plane came out, they had all kinds of problems with it. They didn't abandon the plane though. Said, yeah, let's throw that in the garbage. And they stuck with it, made it good. Pretty much everything we have that's awesome follows that developmental path. So yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's heavy, but super accurate, super smooth, really cool looking. I think from what I know and what I've shot with 7.16, it's going to be ultimately durable. Again, it reminds me very much of the H&K MR762. But this, and I'm glad to remember this, has some distinct advantages. It takes a common magazine system, SR25 mags. Oh, and by the way, it functioned perfect with steel. Did I mention that? That's pretty amazing. But it has a standard magazine system, so maybe some you own already, and also has a 5/8 inch threaded barrel as opposed to something proprietary, which the MR762 has. And I ranted about that. I didn't like that. But there you go. The 7.16 Gen 2, G2 for short, is an excellent gun and it remains recommended. Good job, Sig Arms. Out.